Hi, I'm Zach. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to record a few videos where I explain what the cards really mean in a reading. You don't have to have played the game to understand the readings. I always explain them as I go, but I thought it might help to just give you a little bit of insight into how I interpret the cards, and maybe you can find a little bit of your own meaning in the readings sometimes with this. And even if you have played the game, it'll still help explain the characters and the context of these readings. So the first character is Mr. Bobo. He's the main character of the game and the guide through the game. So he kind of represents listening to your inner voice, or, what really feels right to you at a deep level. So if he comes up in a reading, it can mean that you're doing something that's really in line with what's a good match for you, if it's a job or a situation that's a really good match for you. In the reverse position, it could be that you're not listening to yourself, that you're maybe doing what you mentally calculated to be the best choice, but it doesn't feel right for yourself. So yeah, I don't like to give too much of a negative reading, but in reverse, it can just be a message of, listen to yourself more and try to check in with yourself, and don't just do what other people told you to do, or what sounds like it would make the most sense but feels totally wrong. So it's kind of like your gut feeling or your intuition, or, if you want to think about it that way, like your higher self or spirit guides, if you like to use ideas like that. Then we've got Foofter. Foofter is kind of the secondary character. He's kind of like another main character in my opinion. He is the first friend of Mr. Bobo, and he's very shy, very gentle, wants to be friends with all monsters that he meets, and not hurt anyone's feelings, not stomp on anyone's toes. So this is just about extreme gentleness, gentle loving feeling. It's almost like too gentle and sensitive for the outward harsh world. So he's kind of very shy, and it's not forceful at all. It's very powerful. It's like the powerfulness of very gentle loving energy. So when this comes up in a reading, a lot of the time I feel like it's just reminding you to be very gentle with yourself. You don't need to push yourself too hard. Make sure to find that kind of gentle core in yourself, and don't be too cold or harsh. And yeah, in the reverse, I feel like it's just a stronger version of that message. Make sure to check in with yourself. It could represent a situation where you're not able to be so gentle and where things are too harsh. But it's a really nice card to get in general. It's just about a person or a situation, or just a vibe of this gentle, loving, nurturing energy that wants to welcome and accept everybody. So then, the other two cards are kind of like the reverse of Mr. Bobo and Foofter. It's kind of funny. We got the Bobos. These are kind of like Mr. Bobo's family, or like funny different sides of him. So there's 4 of them, and they kind of go together because they're kind of all immature or not completely formed. They're all a little bit simplistic and silly, almost childlike in their kind of immature simplicity, just demanding things, not really making much sense, but running around together and having really strong reactions. So they represent the funny different sides of ourselves, that we have little emotional reactions to this or that. Like you bump into something, then you get angry, then something else makes you sad, something else makes you happy. Just how kind of silly and cute it is that we have these passing emotions and different sides of ourselves that come up. Of course, sometimes we take them too seriously. So this is a card about reminding you not to take yourself too seriously. Just notice the funny sides of yourself that come up as they come up. So whereas Mr. Bobo is kind of you at a very deep level, what's a good match for you, and what is being on your path like? The Bobos, the other Bobos, are kind of just like the sides of yourself that are more like just knee-jerk reactions and funny different little responses. Kind of like 2 cards about yourself and the different sides of yourself. One is more deep, and one is a little more just silly and, I guess you could say, superficial. And then the counterpart of Foofter is Doofter. Doofter is, originally I called him the evil Foofter, but he's not really evil. It's just that Foofter wants to be friends with everybody. In a sense, you could say Foofter has a really low barriers to friendship, or low standards. He wants to be nice and friendly with everybody. But Doofter has very high standards. His card says high hurdles. He only wants to be friends with people who he deems worth it to be friends with. He doesn't want to waste time being friends with people who have nothing to offer him. or just not wasting time with monsters in general, just in the sense that he thinks friendship is a waste of time unless he's getting something out of it. So that sounds pretty mean and negative, but of course, in an upright position, it can be a positive message about just having standards. I mean, we can't be friends with everybody. Some people, it's just, we're not a good match. It's not healthy to try to keep trying to be friends with someone if it's not working. And so this card is about kind of healthy boundaries, just being clear with where you're at and where you want, what you want. And I mean, yeah, having standards in a good way, because we can't always just be absolutely accepting to everyone and never, stomping on a single toe. So they're kind of flip sides of the same thing, and each one can be good or bad in different situations. And so, yeah, in the reverse, though, then Doofter could be a message of someone, you, or a situation is being a little too harsh and mean and demanding and needs to chill out. And the Bobos in reverse are just a message of, an even stronger message of, don't take yourself too seriously. You might be taking yourself a little too seriously, or someone else is, in terms of just having a big reaction to your moment-to-moment emotions and reactions, big reactions to your reactions, and a need for more perspective in the way you react to things and noticing how you react to things. So that's the first 4 cards I wanted to explain. It's the 2 main characters of the game, and then they're kind of flip sides. You'll get even more insight into them if you check out my game Monster Garden. I'll put a link to it in the description. You can play it on Steam or on itch.io. It only takes about 30 to 45 minutes to complete. And then if you play it multiple times, you can meet different characters. So there are 16 characters, but you can only meet a few on each playthrough. So you do have to play multiple times to get to know them. And if you really get to know or befriend a certain character in the game, you have a special ending with them. So there's a lot of different things you can see by playing the game in different ways. But Mr. Bobo and Mr. Foofter. Mr. Bobo and Foofter are the 2 main characters. You'll always see them. So they're kind of the key, core, important things when it comes to exploring your garden, i.e. your, internal world, which is listening to your inner voice and this really gentle, precious, gentle, sensitive feeling. Those 2 things go together. Those 2 things going together is what kind of unlocks the ability to go inside and learn about yourself, in my opinion, and experience. So this is kind of becoming my theory of internal work or healing, I guess. I guess that's kind of what the game is. So hope you'll check it out. I hope you enjoy my readings, and I'll see you in the next video when I'll explain 4 other cards. So thank you, and see you next time. Bye.